This is the technical difficulties. We're playing Citation Needed. Joining me today, he reads books, you know, it's Chris Joel.
I've not picked a letter.
The bounciest man on the internet, Matt Gray.
Hello, YouTube.
And everybody's favourite Gary Brown, Gary Brannan.
All aboard the zip line to the poop deck.
In front of me, I have an
That's the zip line
Soft landing.
In front of me, I have an article from Wikipedia, and these folks can't see it. Every fact they get right is a point and a ding, and the special prize for particularly good answers, which is...
Mystery Biscuits! Oh, yeah.
And today's article is Sergeant Reckless.
That is my rank in the army.
Have a point?
Sergeant Major, Sergeant Reckless.
Yeah, you get a point
Yay.
for successfully saying this is something or someone in the military.
Is it someone called Sergeant Reckless before we go too far?
Someone is putting it a little bit strongly.
Is it a dog?
Oh, but you're close.
Horse.
Point. Although, to be honest, the horse is named Reckless. Why might it have had the sergeant?
Got a field promotion.
Point.
Started at the bottom and worked its way up.
Held official rank in the United States military.
Did it order anyone?
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
I
a lot
don't
of donkeys that were subordinate to it.
Private donkey, private ass.
believe. Although, if you think about it, the privates in the platoon must have been technically outranked by the horse.
Yeah,
which
they
can't
have to
have been...
salute the horse.
Horse can't salute, can it?
Yeah, it can.
Can it?
Yeah, balance
horse
on
get-
the other three.
Yes, but can it do that with the
can't
other
get
leg?
Leg up.
Don't know. You know, have you seen a horse try? Although I don't know about you, but most of the horses I've seen have not been in the army.
Oh, that's fair.
Most of
That's
the horses I've seen have been civilians.
Yeah, but you'd think they use it to adjust their glasses or something, even if they weren't in the army.
Whoa, monocle. Can you imagine the length of the bridge of the glasses for a horse?
Yeah, that's fine. A monocle's still going to fall out.
They'll
isn't
have
it?
two monocles. All right, they'll fall out, but that's just a universal exhibition of surprise.
More of a windscreen for a horse, isn't it?
Oh, can you imagine
Wrap
getting
around
that?
cricket glasses.
A prescription windscreen, basic. Why don't you have those?
No, it's like...
Why don't I have a
poker
windscreen? I'm a
What,
human.
I mean, like one massive bit of glass. that
Poker
goes all the way
visor
around?
thing.
Yeah.
No, because it'd be massively heavy. Glasses are really
Modern.
heavy.
I'm not talking. All right, for the 1940s horse in the army.
Yeah.
Yes, impractical because of the size of the glass. For the modern man of today, there must be thin materials we could use for a
No,
wrap
they
around.
really aren't. If you make the glasses thin, the refractive index has to be high, so they're really heavier.
Science.
He's asked. He's tried.
I literally tried to order extra thin glass, and they basically just kept falling forwards off my face because they were just so heavy.
In moments of surprise or at any time, because any glass can
Anytime.
fall off at any moment of surprise.
Yeah. No, originally a racehorse, Sergeant Reckless, was purchased from a Korean stable boy at the Seoul racetrack who needed money to buy an artificial leg for his sister.
Sergeant Reckless's sister.
No, the stable boy's sister. They didn't give the horse an artificial leg.
Sorry, I tuned out halfway through what you were saying. It sounded like the horse's sister was in hospital. That makes a lot more sense.
Fine. It's technically an open modifier. I could have.
It's a brown horse, but it's got a white leg because it's all they got left.
I'm going to give you a point. Sergeant Reckless was indeed a chestnut horse. With, I'm quoting here, a blaze and 3 white stockings.
White head marking and 3 white legs, but
2
not on
points.
the fourth.
2 points straight away.
Because
Well
it's
done.
the false. Oh, that was his sister. Is it?
Yeah, a blazer, a wide white stripe down the middle of the face.
Do you think they camouflage that before they go into battle? It'd be an obvious target. He's
like
in
a
the army.
Aim for this bit.
Bullseye on there.
Well, it might as well be. If you've got a big, you're in it's a nighttime battle. Sergeant Reckless is in the trench with you. See what's going on.
That's what made him reckless. He refused to camouflage it.
We've made a presumption here, folks.
Email.
Lady horse.
There we go. Her date of birth and parentage are unconfirmed. What was the reason you would buy a army platoon? The recoilless rifles. Why would they buy a horse?
Glue.
No.
Lucrative incomes via betting.
By the way, by recoilless rifle, it is basically
A rifle that fires without recoil.
If you think rifle, you think small stuff. This is basically a shoulder-mounted rocket launcher.
Was it a bit like the Indian Army? Didn't they use elephants as gun platforms?
No, it is just a pack horse.
Well, that's
just-
bullshit. It's a bloody racehorse.
To pack the tube
They-
of the rifle.
They needed a horse that was strong and powerful and could travel long distances at speed. 9-month military career.
Right.
In a single day, made 51 solo trips to resupply frontline units. Now,
Go over there, horsey.
I think that may literally have been the order. It was, here are some shells, they've trained the thing, slap
Out
it on the
and
back,
back and out and
it
back.
goes out and back.
How do they know this horse wasn't trying to run away and just keep getting caught and sent back in the other direction?
It's an equine shuttle bus.
Equine cargo platform, cargo lifter, if you want to go for that.
It's the original shipping container.
More like Big Dog.
Yeah. Yeah, that robot Google is working on right now. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Google?
unnerving.
Yeah, Google bought Boston Dynamics because
Did
that's
they?
not scary at all. the massive autonomous robots for military use, basically the electronic descendants of Sergeant Reckless. Yeah, Google owns that
Boston
company.
Dynamics are owned by Google.
Yeah,
Delivering your Amazon packages soon.
yeah,
I love that we're slightly slagging Google. I wonder if the lights are going to go out any second.
yeah. That's a good point. We are in YouTube's own studios here. which we're
Mr.
very
Google,
thankful
who
for.
I assume owns it, is just over a big red button on his desk.
desk.
Could be.
Terry Google and Sons are just when you type in your search query, you go, right, okay, better get the replies to that in.
Straight over the card index, pull it
was
out.
gonna say old card index.
Yep.
Was that the sound of a cat trapped in a card index there?
It's fallen under the sea.
Yeah.
For cat.
Which actually, in YouTube's card index, quite big these
Yeah,
days, isn't
yeah.
it? K for kitten now ranks it, but
Yeah.
you
Hold
request-
on. Archivist question. Do you file kitten under K, or do you file it under cat, bracket, kitten, comma, young?
If and here we go technical. If cat's the collection, I think it would be a kitten would be a series beneath it.
All right. I'm glad I asked that question.
If you were giving me cat videos to file,
Yeah.
I probably would do. Probably by category. So I would probably. I think I probably would put kitten underneath.
Okay.
Depends how they originally came.
But if it was Terry Google and something,
Yeah.
you type in funny cat photo, they'd have to get the cat out and the camera out and take the photo to send you it.
That's true.
That's Victorian Google for you. You telegram it over. Send it around with the courier. Lad turns up with a hand crank projector. You wanted a funny cat video, sir?
Ollie, that is the same sound of taking the cat.
Sit there with your brandy. Most amusing.
The horse was known for a few things. For her willingness to eat nearly anything, including
ammunition.
nearly about $30 worth of something.
Gun cotton.
Poker chips.
Waiting for it to cash out about a day later.
Someone armband it.
Bar. Oh.
Also, the first horse in the Marine Corps known to have participated in a certain type of military operation.
Formation skydiving.
I mean, I'd like to see that. It's not technically a military operation.
I've just realised both military operations and medical operations happen in theatre.
You're right.
This is not funny. I've just realised
Theatre
they're
of
the
war.
same words.
Profound.
Yeah. I mean, I can't give you a point for it.
Give him some
But-
biscuits at least.
Yeah,
Really?
sure.
It's
That's
not
worth
worth
it.
biscuits.
I don't think it's worth a biscuit. I'm going to be
What
thank you.
happens now?
biscuits. Biscuits.
Stolen biscuits.
We're looking for a type of military operation, some kind of big thing you wouldn't expect a horse to be involved in. It's not-
USO show.
Ocean landing.
Yes, absolutely. Point. In fact, that you can have the biscuits that you get stole for. Amphibious landing.
Doors open. At the front is a grizzled-looking horse with a cigar in his mouth. Let's do this.
What's the matter with you? You want to live forever?
Was awarded, first of all, 2 Purple Hearts, which is the medal you get for
Being wounded.
point.
Oh, really?
Absolutely right. The Marines taught Reckless battlefield survival skills, such as, we're talking 1950s here.
Negotiate spiky things put in the way to slow you down.
I'll
Don-
give you a point for that. How not to become entangled in barbed wire.
Helicopter.
How would you teach it? You just go, no.
I don't know. I don't know how you train a horse.
Put the carrots round the barbed wire rather than through.
And how to lie down when under fire. Also, if she heard incoming, she would run for a bunker. Now,
Killing soldiers in its
it's more smashing. I don't know how if a horse can fit in a bunker, but
Is it stuck in the door with his hooves just clipping on the concrete block?
Winnie the Pooh wedged in rabbit's burrow, legs going.
Putting on its flash goggles and radiation suit as well, obviously.
They should put webbing on the horse so as it's cantering for the...
Guys
You
just
just
grab it
grab
on
it.
the side and get him dragged to safety.
Tell you what, boys, just follow the horse, eh?
What happened the first time that the recoilless rifle, which is basically rocket launcher, was fired near her?
Did it not properly not recoil and she was fired backward about 100 yards?
No,
Oh, not at her, near her.
near her.
She'd run away.
Did she spit out her gum and go, call that a bang?
All 4 feet left the ground as you kind of jumped in. It's a difficult thing for a horse.
Wow.
And until if a horse could, you could hear the horse's words, but she...
You never told me it'd be that loud.
What did they do to try and train her? Just pop paper bags behind her or something like that?
Basically,
Bang.
By the end of the mission,
Bang! Hold up a flashcard.
by the end of the mission, she was used to it. When learning a new delivery route, she would only need someone to lead her a few times. Then she would make the trips on her own.
Yeah, I'm fine. Let me, yeah, all right, I'll do it. Goes behind a bush, waits there for an hour, throws everything off and comes back like you used to do on your paper round. Yeah, took it.
There was a standing order not to ride her, but during the Battle of Vegas Hill, what happened?
Went
Somebody
to a
did.
Went to
Yeah.
a casino with a man on her back.
Obviously, someone rode her. What might they have travelled through?
We'll say 3 casinos and a seafood and rye show.
Did they traverse a river?
No.
An
Bit more-
atomic test site.
More dangerous than that. Less dangerous than that.
The enemy line.
Minefield.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a ton of horse between the mine and me. I'll be
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. So they're just in my head. So, and there's an explosion. It's just rider and horse.
That's how she did the vertical takeoff when she was surprised.
Yeah, yeah.
But anti-personnel minefield or anti-tank minefield?
Doesn't say. I didn't know there was much of a difference.
Yeah, pressure. Well, 2 differences. Pressure. Anti-tank goes off when you put however many tons through it and goes off immediately.
Yeah.
Anti-personnel goes off under much lighter pressure but goes off after you've passed by.
Why?
Blows up behind you and gets
And
everyone.
gets everyone in line.
So,
right.
my question to you is, if you are travelling fast enough on a racehorse, do you get Heroes Never Look Back explosions?
Oh, can you imagine being the man in the enemy trench, seeing someone riding a horse through a minefield with a following trail of explosions as a grizzled combat-ready horse strolls through with a cigar in its mouth?
Just imagine the guy under enemy lines going,
And as the horse comes up, spitting out the cigar and the chewing tobacco, go, "Pff, got any more?"
it's the noise though.
What caused that? A horse.
I mean, the answer is still probably no.
No.
You end up with chunks of horse.
Yes,
But,
let's be honest here.
but I do like the
Or
way
as we
that,
call it now, delicious, delicious lasagna.
Yes.
but I do like the way that Gary's writing the comic book.
Yeah.
Just writing the comic book character of this.
After retiring from active service, there was a campaign to get her back to the United States, to the country that she'd now served. So I want to kind of guess how that played out.
A bit like Saving Private Ryan.
Another crack squad of horses.
Horses had to go in.
No, sailed from Yokohama.
Hold on,
board
this
a boat.
horse served in the Pacific.
Yeah, it was bought at Seoul Racetrack.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I forgot all that bit. I thought, sorry, in my head it was in Europe. Do apologise. Horse with a
No.
flamethrower.
1950s. Served in the Pacific period.
Korean War.
Yep. The ship went through a typhoon. Horse still fine.
Horse probably drove the boat.
The entire
Well,
crew
stop
dead.
Yeah. Horse at the wheel. We're getting home.
What
Need
was,
horse things, yeah.
what was the first problem with getting off in San Francisco?
Seasickness.
No.
Horse had vomed everywhere.
Not enough gimbals on the
Yeah,
boat.
the thing is, yes, you can have a point. That did happen. But we're talking problems when we get there.
Scurvy horse.
Nope.
Quarantine?
Yeah, I'll give you a point for that. Customs were fine, but the Department of Agriculture insisted full lab tests, which would make her late for the banquet where she was to be guest of honour.
2 things. 1, you're going to argue with a fully armed combat experienced horse.
Yes.
2, I'm glad she's going to a banquet where she's the guest and not the main course.
That's true, yes. Why did the Marines consider that lab test a bit of an affront to her honour?
You have to pee in a jar.
You know, you're along kind of the right lines. It was a blood test, but
Was it an STD test?
point, yes.
Oh my
They're
god.
testing for Doreen, which is an equine STI.
Did she have it?
No.
She's been away a long time. It did happen a lot, you know.
No, she made it to the Marine Corps birthday ball, in which she rode
In a dress? Sorry.
Yeah.
In a ball gown. Yeah.
What did she get to ride in order to get there?
An even bigger horse.
An open top
carousel.
Cadillac.
No,
Right.
no. To give you a hint, it was not held on the ground floor here.
In a lift?
In a lift.
They put a horse. Sorry, this horse has been like in combat, and the most amazing thing is they've put a horse in a lift. And
Yep.
says, at which point, someone is on the third floor, has been drinking heavily all day. The lift doors open. There's a horse in a ball gown with medals.
Puts the bottle down.
Puts the
Picks up
bottle down.
something stronger.
Congratulations, Chris. You win this week's show. You win a pigeon. Although you
Just one.
you do have to collect it from Trafalgar Square. So
Game on.
Bring him his butterfly net.
with that, we say thank you to Chris Joel, Matt Gray, and Gary Brannan. I've been Tom Scott, and we'll see you next time.
He's got the beard. I've got the bulk.
Wow, that's
Let's
a
make lots of
slogan,
money.
that.
Where's the hyphen in that?
I'm trying to diagram the sentence.
Anywhere you can put a hyphen changes.
Is it an Australian bird?
No, it's not.
If he didn't win a sporting event or invent some kind of metalworking process, then quite frankly, I'm out of here.